Today is a new day, therefore, there's a new video, and unfortunately, it's got to do more with Sony once again killing physical media, or rather, physical games. This type of news isn't something that I think the gaming industry is taking well at this point in time. There obviously are some defenders of it, but be that as it may, I think that as far as video game ownership goes, the idea is that you will never be able to own a video game after 20 or January 2028, or at least a new video game after that. I don't think that Xbox, to be honest with you, is going to even bother with trying to actually make their next console have a physical drive. Or maybe they'll figure out some method of changing the system. Instead of a Blu ray drive, maybe they'll just sell you some sort of like SSD or something like that, a similar in nature type of device. But given how expensive things are with the AI, with the artificial intelligence bubble, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But now going to an article from Insider Gaming. This is about 2 days old at this point in time, but I thought it would be interesting to talk about it because I think that as far as corporate goes, this is probably the safest bet that they've got going forward. So, Sony imposes strict social media guidelines amid this backlash, it's claimed. Now, this comes from Insider Gaming. I did read a few more other articles about it, but I kind of like the way they did theirs, so we're going to run with their one. Now, as far as the information comes, it actually comes out of Alana Pierce's mouth, who, for those of you who don't know, apparently she worked on God of War, Lao Fei, and that game's getting roasted into oblivion at this point in time. But hey, it is what it is, and she seems to have access to some employees on the inside. And from what she's actually been able to get and put out into the public, of course, I'd say you should be taking this with a pinch of salt because, well, if she's willing to kind of give this information out, that means there's no way in for her. So I don't know if there's bad blood there or not. Let's just hope that isn't the case and she isn't just talking a bunch of rubbish. But apparently, this is the strictest Sony has ever been as far as social media posts go. They're basically not taking any chances, and effectively, as it boils down, they are getting roasted on every single platform through every single post that they make, whether it be a new trailer for the Wolverine game, whether it be an X post or whatever other social media post that they try to put out there. If they can't delete your comments or if they can't get bots to reply to it, they're at least making sure the employees don't stuff this up and actually say anything. Now, as far as everything goes, I think obviously Sony is going to go on full lockdown as far as social media goes. And we've got to understand this is a major, major PR issue for them. And probably it's going to be one of the biggest ones in the history of PlayStation. I don't think they've had anything this big before, aside from obviously the PSN outages or credentials being stolen or whatever security hack they've had to face in the past. And obviously, to some extent, jailbreaking of their consoles. But this, probably to date, is the biggest and messiest situation that they found themselves in as far as PR is concerned. And yes, it makes sense for them to lock everything down, to do everything they possibly can to make sure that nobody breaks rank. And obviously, once there's a crack in the dam, eventually there'll be a leak, and they don't want that to happen. Now, obviously, people who are working at Sony from all of these first party studios and on the inside dealing with the PlayStation department in particular already have a lot of information. They already know a lot of things that they'd like to say, but in all likelihood, under some form of NDA or obviously some sort of threat whereby, look, you say anything and your career is over for time for any reasonable foreseeable time in the future. So the way I look at it right now, everybody is basically just got their lips zipped shut. And it does make sense for that. I mean, realistically speaking, Sony's not going to walk it back. There's absolutely no way they're going to fire up factories again to get discs going. In fact, I think they've already repurposed those factories to make optical lenses, and they're probably making more money doing that than they would to print a physical disc. And by eliminating the physical disc, they're eliminating their competition from within their own facilities. So you got to understand there's a lot going on over here. And one, they can't walk it back. And two, they're going to just make sure everybody's as silent as possible because the moment anybody says anything, it's going to be hit with negative feedback. Alternatively, people want Sony to break silence and be like, hey, look, we've made a mistake. We're walking it back. We've heard you. And Sony does not want to do that because of their investors. I mean, the shares prices apparently went up after they made this announcement, as much as the CEO has sold up some of his shares, it's pretty obvious what's happening over here. Investors want this. It's not about what customers want. And whatever tactics they use to fudge the numbers to make it or to justify it, or whatever report that they want to use or industry analysts they're going to use, the same goes with gaming journalists. They're going to do everything to make it look like this is the only way forward, that digital is the only way forward. There is no if, ands, or buts. There is no pushback. Everything that you're going to do is effectively useless, and nobody's going to say anything or even pay attention to you, because digital is the way of the future, and that's it. The end. That's basically what it all boils down to. And I think the only thing you can do as a consumer or customer or gamer, or whatever you want to see yourself as, I see myself as a customer, is simple. Don't waste your time with them. They want effectively brand loyalty, and they want it through what exactly? Through the fact that they're just PlayStation? I mean, yeah, there are some people out there who will do it. But to be quite frank with you, unless they provide the cheapest hardware or alternatively have the best storefront, it's not going to happen. And irrespective of what they do or say, I don't think anybody's going to forgive them for what they did, killing off physical media like that. It was inevitable, but I think the way they did it, and given their track record with deleting movies from people's libraries, and given that they are now fudging the numbers, a large portion of the world will be cut off from physical media. I think it's close to like 60 odd percent, whereby internet is really bad and they still relied on physical media. I guess at this stage, development of those emulators are looking pretty juicy, and jailbreaking is also going to ramp up as well. I mean, if people were dragging their feet before, actually working, well, 12 hours a day trying to jailbreak the consoles, they're probably going to be working 25 hours a day. And as far as emulation goes, I'm pretty sure everybody under the sun who has access to artificial intelligence is going to do whatever they can to get some sort of functional emulator out there. And all of this is by a post which they made, or rather, a decision to kill physical, and also remain silent throughout it, effectively ignoring everybody in the sense that, look, if we don't respond, it doesn't exist, or if we don't acknowledge it, it doesn't exist. And that's not what's happening over here. Sony obviously can see it, they just won't respond, and I get it. The second they do, it means they'll have to either admit or avoid or do something once they break their silence. And as far as PR goes, right now they're just playing it safe. They think that remaining silent is the best option for them. And if that's how they want to go ahead with it, I mean, by all means, carry on. Honestly speaking, I believe that they're going to kill their own brand, and it'll be all their fault. With that being said, guys, I'm out of this video. You have a good one. I'll see you next time. Until then, kid, take care of yourself, and goodbye.